You are very close to Shah Rukh, and but we've not
Salman both actually.
Salman and Shah Rukh both, but we've not heard anything from him about Mulk.
Shah Rukh hasn't seen the film.
Hasn't seen the film.
Celebrities are very vulnerable. They try to stay clear of anything that can be even remotely controversial.
When you're talking about secularism, so you're basically talking about togetherness, and that has become the taboo word.
We are responsible because we are scared to talk about it, we are scared to express it. Hi, this is Anubhav Sinha, and you are watching Bollywood Hungama.
I have one question for you. It's a question that I think a lot of people will be having. So you are very close to Shah Rukh, and I think he posted the promo of Tumbin 2 from what I remember as well.
Yes, he did.
But we've not
Salman both actually.
Salman and Shah Rukh both, but we've not heard anything from him about Mulk.
Shah Rukh hasn't seen the film.
Hasn't seen the film. But the fact is that I'm sure that he would love to see it. But the fact is that the way things have happened, maybe with him and maybe Amir as well in the recent past, when they expressed their thoughts on the entire intolerance debate and the way they were trolled. So if he expresses, I think, almost anything on Mulk, there are all the chances once again that he will be trolled once again, that you are supporting a film because of the fact that you are either close to the guy or the fact that maybe it's talking about a certain issue which is very close to your heart. Do you find that a bit odd in that for any artist to have that apprehension? If I talk about a film, if I praise a film, I can be judged in a certain way.
But why only Shah Rukh? Tell me a major star who's written about the film.
Yeah, that's something that we just spoke to.
I'm thinking they haven't seen the film. And it was a small film. It was not, a film that, it was not one of those big Bollywood films that, we go and watch. So I'm guessing that those people haven't seen the film. I have received personal messages from people, but not the kind of people you're talking about. Shah Rukh wants to see the film. I want to show him the film, but he's been traveling and he's been shooting. I think he just finished shooting, and then कभी वो यहाँ होता है, कभी वो वहाँ होता है.
Trinidad and Tobago, yeah.
हाँ, Trinidad भी गया हुआ था बीच में. तो मुझे पता भी नहीं है if he's come back from Trinidad or not. So I think whenever he has a breather, thankfully he has a theater in his house, and it's easier for him to watch.
Right.
But I know what you're saying, and
because industry likes to support safe subjects.
I haven't answered that question yet.
Right.
Let me answer that for you. Right now, celebrities are very vulnerable. They try to stay clear of anything that can be even remotely controversial. And it's not only movie stars. I have received messages from cricketing stars who've seen the film.
They can't post on social media.
They haven't written it on Twitter or Facebook, which could be just a personal choice. But not everyone writes about films on social media. But to accept the truth, to give your question its due, yes, it is not entirely impossible that people would avoid to support a film that talks about secularism.
And it's odd actually that when you're talking about secularism, so you're basically talking about togetherness, and that has become the taboo word in a way.
We are responsible because we are scared to talk about it, we are scared to express it. I never blame any political scenario for things like these. It's the job of political parties to get our votes, because that gets them into power, and they will do everything. And in our history, Sam Dam Dan Bhed would be utilized. It is us who react to it, and it is us who do not react to it correctly. So when they want to divide us between Hindus and Sikhs, they do that. When they want to divide us between Hindus and Muslims, they do that. When they want to divide us between Brahmins and Kshatriyas, they do that. It's us who get divided. So it's our fault. It's not their fault. They don't give you a potion that you go into a trance. No. They just say things to you that you're supposed to look through, see through, and then react to it as a responsible citizen of the country.
Right. So a few things about the movie. I think there's so much that one can discuss. Now, what has been the role of Anjum Rajabali in the entire script? Because I think you've got an outstanding script. At the level of writing, it is so strong that everything that is extremely gripping. Each scene जो है वो कहीं ना कहीं घर कर जाता है ज़हन में. What has been the role? Because I think he's a script consultant that for the
in
film.
the world of script writing, there is a role function called script doctor.
जी.
They don't write anything for you, but they read your drafts and they react to it.
Right.
Because you're inside of the script as a writer, maybe you can't see it as analytically as you should. So there is this script doctor who tells you that this is what is wrong in this draft, this is what needs to be done in this draft. Then you go and do it. So it's a doctor, but script doctor is not a good title.
Script consultant.
Yeah, we call it a script consultant.
Right.
Immense contribution from Anjum. Immense. I mean, we had like 3 or 4 meetings, and he has read 3 or 4 drafts. He has contributed immensely. Him, Gaurav Solanki, and Sudhir Mishra.
Yeah, Sudhir Mishra, you've constantly said. I think you hold him in a very high regard.
हमारे यूपी में एक टर्म होती है उसको गुरु भाई बोलते हैं.
जी, you mentioned that.
तो वो मेरे गुरु भाई हैं.
He came for the promo launch as well.
हाँ, तो वो he has been reading the script from the first draft. Actually, no, even before that. When I thought of the story, and I went and narrated it to him. So he has read all my drafts. He has advised. Anjum has professionally done that. And Gaurav Solanki, I met. He's a wonderful writer. He's an author. He's a published author. I met him after I had shot the film, but he has been able to help me on the script even after that.
Right.
So we shot a lot of the judges portion later, and he has immense contribution in that.
Kumud Mishra. I think outstanding performance by Kumud Mishra as well. So, sir, everyone is already raving about Rishi sir and Taapsi's performance. So, I think a lot has been said, but I'd like to just talk about Manoj Pahwa. I'd like to share with you. So, I was watching in the press show. I was in the first seat, screen मेरे सामने था. So, I had this journalist from a Hindi newspaper, and even after the interval, he just said that this is Manoj Pahwa's best performance, and I think it is actually. He just stands out. That the fact that it's not Manoj Pahwa, it is Bilal. That vulnerability, and because he's symbolizing the Muslim community in such a big way in terms of the fact that there's a huge amount of illiteracy, and there's a huge amount of the fact that a laid back attitude hai, which is amongst a lot of people, and they don't realize that they need to just get their act together. And I think he has symbolized that beautifully. He has just assimilated the entire thing, and he has portrayed that character beautifully, and he has given you the credit for that at the success press conference that you guys had. So what is it that you've managed to get out of this guy? Actually, he's outstanding in the movie.
He's been a friend since I came to Bombay. I mean, we came to Bombay almost together. I didn't know him from Delhi. I met him here. Ever since, I've always cast him in non-comic roles. In my first TV show that I directed called Shikast, he was a negative character. Then in Tumbin, he was not the funny guy. And so I've always seen him very differently from the rest of the industry. So we're close to each other, and he's a fantastic actor. It was a good part, and he performed it to its full potential. I'm sure I have a contribution, but eventually it's him who has done it. So it's sweet of him to say कि अनुभव ने किया सब, but ऐसा होता नहीं है.
Right. No, I'm sure, but because I think as a director, if the amount of freedom that you give, I think that's something that
That
lets
too,
a
and
character fly.
and that freedom has to be used properly, right?
That he has to do it responsibly as well.
Yeah. Hi, this is Anubhav Sinha, and you are watching Bollywood Hungama.